Please like the video, subscribe my channel. The silent storm. There was a boy named Aarav who lived in a world full of noise. Everywhere he went, people were shouting, trying to prove themselves, trying to be heard, trying to show they mattered. In school, in the streets, even online, everyone was competing to be the loudest voice in the room. But Aarav was different. He didn't argue. He didn't react. He didn't try to prove anything. People thought he was weak. "Why don't you ever speak up?" they would say. "Do you even have an opinion?" Others mocked. Aarav would just smile and stay silent. But what no one knew was this: Aarav was always watching. He noticed things others missed. He understood people without them saying much. He saw intentions behind words and truth behind actions. While others wasted energy reacting to everything, Aarav saved his dot one day. A group of boys tried to provoke him. They insulted him, laughed at him, pushed him to lose control. But Aarav didn't react. He stood there, calm. And in that moment, something strange happened. The boys, who came to dominate him, slowly lost their power. Their words started to feel empty. Their anger had no effect. Because they couldn't control him. That day, Aarav realized something powerful. Silence is not weakness. It's control. From that moment on, he made a decision. He would speak less, but observe more. React less, but understand deeper. Show less, but grow more. Years passed. While others kept talking, arguing, and showing off, Aarav was building himself quietly. Learning, improving, growing stronger every single day. No announcements, no noise, just silent progress. Then one day, everything changed. The same people who ignored him started noticing him. The same people who mocked him started respecting him. The same people who underestimated him couldn't ignore him anymore. Because Aarav didn't need to speak anymore. His results spoke louder than any words ever could. And when he finally did speak, people didn't just hear him. They listened. Because now, every word he said carried weight. Aarav had become something rare. A silent storm. He didn't fight every battle. He didn't respond to every insult. He didn't try to win every argument. Because he understood one thing most people never do: not every reaction is power. Sometimes the greatest power is choosing not to react. And in the end, while the world kept shouting, Aarav won. In silence. The silent storm. Part 2. Success didn't make Aarav louder. It made him even quieter. Now people were curious. How did he do it? What's his secret? Why does he never react? They tried to get close to him, to understand him. But Aarav had learned something important: not everyone deserves access to your mind. He had spent years observing people, and now he could easily tell who was real and who was just pretending. One evening, an old classmate approached him. The same person who once laughed at him. Double quotes. "Bro, you've changed a lot," he said. "You don't talk much, but somehow you've become powerful." Aarav looked at him calmly and replied, "I didn't change. I just stopped wasting my energy." That line stayed with the boy because it was true. Most people lose their power not because they are weak, but because they give their energy to everything, every comment, every argument, every distraction. But Aarav had mastered something rare: focus. He didn't chase attention anymore. He didn't try to impress people. He didn't explain himself to those who didn't understand him. Instead, he worked silently, day after day. And with that silence, he built discipline. With discipline, he built patience. And with patience, he built a life others could only dream of. But life wasn't always easy. There were moments when he felt like reacting. Moments when he wanted to prove people wrong. Moments when silence felt heavy. But every time, he reminded himself, not every battle deserves my energy. Because he knew If you fight every small fight, you'll never have strength left for the big ones. One day, a major opportunity came his way. A project, a chance, a moment that could change everything. Others rushed in, talked big, made promises, tried to dominate the room. Aarav stayed quiet. He listened. He observed. He understood what no one else could see. And when the right moment came, he spoke. Just a few words. Clear, sharp, powerful. The room went silent. Because when someone who rarely speaks finally speaks, it matters. That day, Aarav didn't just win the opportunity. He earned respect. Real respect. The kind that doesn't come from noise, but from control. From that moment, people stopped calling him quiet. They started calling him dangerous, not because he was aggressive, but because he was in control of himself. And that's the rarest power in the world. In a world full of noise, Aarav became the calm. In a world full of reactions, he became the thinker. In a world desperate for attention, he became the one who didn't need it. And that's why he stood above the rest. Final thought: you don't need to shout to be powerful. You don't need to prove yourself to everyone. You don't need to react to everything. Sometimes, the strongest move you can make is to stay silent, stay focused, and let your results make the noise. The Silent Storm. Part 3. Final chapter. Years passed. Aarav was no longer just a quiet observer. He had become a force people couldn't ignore. But the most surprising thing, he still lived the same way. No unnecessary words. No showing off. No chasing validation, because by now, he understood something most people never will: power that needs to be shown isn't real power. One day, a young boy approached him. He reminded Aarav of his younger self, confused, frustrated, desperate to prove his worth. "Tell me something," the boy said. "How do I become strong like you? How do I make people respect me?" Aarav looked at him for a moment, and then said quietly, "Stop trying to make people respect you." The boy was confused. Aarav continued, "The more you chase respect, the more you lose it. The more you try to prove yourself, the weaker you look." He paused, then added, "Work on yourself so deeply that one day, your presence speaks before you do." The boy listened carefully. "But how?" he asked. Aarav gave him 3 simple rules. 1. Control your reactions. When you stop reacting to everything, you take control of your life. Point 2. Protect your energy. Not everyone deserves your time, your words, or your attention. 3. Let your work speak. Stay quiet, keep improving, and let your results create the noise. The boy nodded, but Aarav could tell understanding would take time, because real growth doesn't come from hearing words. It comes from living them. As the boy walked away, Aarav smiled slightly. He knew the truth: not everyone will understand silence. Not everyone will have the patience to master it. Because silence is not empty. It's full of discipline, full of awareness, full of power. And only a few people are strong enough to carry it. As the sun began to set, Aarav stood alone, looking at the horizon. The world was still noisy. People were still arguing, still reacting, still trying to be seen. Nothing had changed, except him. He no longer needed to prove anything. He no longer needed to win every situation. He no longer needed to be understood by everyone, because he had already won the most important battle, the battle within himself. And that's the moment everything changes. When you don't let anger control you. When you don't let opinions shake you. When you don't let noise distract you. You become unstoppable. Not because